Jazz chords, this is how to learn and remember. Learn and remember the jazz chords by following these easy steps. When you start playing jazz, you are confronted with a lot of information, how to play this, how to improvise, what you need to know. In this video, I will walk you through one of the most essential topics you need to go through for learning jazz, the chords. In this tutorial, why is it important to learn the chords and the progressions by heart? Begin with the root, learn the chord notes, play a guide tone line, develop the rhythm, and what is approach notes, more rhythm, show, play, analyze a blues solo using chord notes. Hi there, I'm Søren and welcome to Søren Saxophone Lessons. Why is it important to learn the chords and the progressions by heart? The chords together with the melody is the basis of any given song. This is not only in jazz but in all musical genres. The chords of a tune are decided from out the melody and also defines the general mood of the tune. When we improvise over a tune, we are playing in the rhythm of a tune. By standard jazz improvisation, we are also playing over the chords of a tune. The chords each have a function which creates motion, and this motion is what we want to play in our solo. To create the exact mood and motion of a tune, it is very important we know the functions of the chords and how we want to express this function. The functions of the chords are connected to how the chord notes interact with each other. This is why one of the most important things to learn in jazz improvisation are the chords. Begin with the root. I'll start with the basic blues in C, which we practice on. The first thing you want to do is remember the chord progression. Luckily, the chords are named after the root of the chords. What you want to do is play the roots of the chord as many times till you remember the order of the chords, the progression. I always start practicing stuff rubato, so with no steady timing. To begin with, I play all the roots, 4 beats in the bar as whole notes. Take it easy, just play the roots, no timing. The second step is to play the roots in time. Here you can use a backing track. I found one on YouTube. Again, hold on to just playing the root on the first beat of the bar as long note. In this step you can also alter the octave in the root, so play 1 octave higher. For example, if the low C is difficult to play, play the middle C or the high C. So change a little bit around with the octave. Rhythm. Jazz is all about rhythm, so as soon as you can, as soon as you know the roots in the basic form, add rhythm. So I have added the half notes. Just 2 times the same note in 1 bar. Again, remember to alter the root in the octave. I'll try this now. I didn't do this with the previous example, but I'll octavate some of the roots now. I would recommend you to take any tempo where you feel comfortable. Now I'm playing quite a fast tempo because else we'll get a very long video. So take it in a slow tempo. You can also use iReal Pro on the phone to get your tempo on the blues. When you play this and you feel comfortable, you can of course change up the rhythm. Experiment with playing notes shorter or longer, maybe lift 1 or 2 of the notes over the bar line. I will start with playing the notes rubato half notes. And remember to play in the octave. Playing the roots as half notes in the bar. Adding a little rhythm in there. So start improvising either with whole notes or half notes. Start changing these two patterns around. So add a little rhythm of yourself, maybe add a quarter note. I'll just try this over the form. I've written down the form, you can see the form here. I just added the half notes, but try to add a little rhythm of yourself. Think of any rhythm you can imagine and then play it slowly. First, I'll do a rubato run. Again, second step, add timing. Learn the chord notes. You know the root names and you know the order of the chords. The next step is to learn the rest of the basic chord notes. I start with just a simple arpeggio up, going from the root to the seventh, playing 8 notes. Starting rubato. Changing the octave. Play this in time. You really need to learn the chord notes very well. This means you also need to know this pattern going down. Again, starting with no timing, just starting with rubato, get the feel of the chord. Now we're starting on the 7th of the basic chord, the basic dominant chord of the blues. So we're starting on the 7th, C7 is the B flat. Rubato. Again, feel free to change the octave. well and get going on with the timing. So put this into a play along track and play along with this. You can take any tempo you want to. So if this tempo is too fast, pick another tempo, find another play along, or use Real Pro where you can slow down the tempo. Also remember, I'm playing one round of each example because this is a short YouTube video, but you should play as many rounds as you want. You really need to repeat this 100 times if you want to. So repeat this till you really know it, and remember, slow down the tempo. But you got this far, so really great. Thank you. Okay, now it gets really exciting because we're going to go further with the guide tone line. Play a guide tone line. A guide tone line is a series of notes that follow each other in a melodic way through the chords. A more specific definition of the guide tone line is a slowly progressing melodic line which connects the chord notes you are playing to the closest by chord note, fitting in the rhythm you are playing, mostly whole notes or half notes. A guide tone line is a very important tool to learn the chords and the functions of the chord. By playing a guide tone line, you learn how the individual chord notes connect to each other. This will later help you to see the development of longer jazz lines that you can connect these very beautiful into each other. A guide tone line in a blues in C could look like this. I'll just start playing this guide tone line rubato, and then you can hear how it goes. You can begin the guide tone line from any chord note. The rule is you have to lead the note to the closest bar in the next bar. Let me try this with music, then it's easier to hear the connection with the roots and the chords. Develop the rhythm. A great way to develop your overview and flexibility is involving the rhythm in your guide tone line. The first step is to play 2 notes per bar, for example half notes. In the next example, I'll also start the guide tone from another step in the chord. I'll start on the B flat, the 7th of the C7, and then I play 2 notes of the chord in each bar. Of course I start rubato. Keep repeating these steps till you have a really good overview of the chord notes. Again, you can start on any note in the bar. You can start on any note in the bar. So you have 4 beginning notes of the chord. The root, the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th. And the most important is to lead the closest way to the next chord. Doesn't matter if you're using 1 or 2 notes or 3 notes in the bar. If there are any chord notes you do not know yet, go back to the earlier steps and play the chords up and down, the arpeggios. Check the chord notes so you know this really by heart, else it's really difficult to make up your own guide tone lines. Start making your own guide tone lines going through the form. What is approach notes? In music you have to break the rules. If you think your guide tone line sounds better if you make a bigger jump, you should do that. Eventually, music is about taste, not rules. If you make a jump to make a better musical line, like I did in the earlier example, it is completely okay. So if you look at bar 3, 4 and 5 in this example, you hear my guide tone line. I'm playing an E, a G, so the third, the fifth. I'm jumping to the C, so I'm actually skipping that B flat in between those two and going back to the B flat. Then I get a beautiful line, the C, the B flat, the A, and that's because I want this down going line towards this A. That's why I skip this B flat in the third bar. Approach notes are leading tones that are leading strongly towards your goal note, to the notes that are coming up. This is with the C, the B flat. Those two would be approach notes. More rhythm. One of the goals with these exercises is to learn the chord notes of the tune you are practicing. But the final goal is, of course, to be able to play chord notes in your solo and play a beautiful improvisation or play beautiful music. Adding more rhythm to the guide tone line makes it even more flexible and more versatile. Your playing will just get better. The first thing you should do, what I mentioned earlier, start with the whole notes, change this around with half notes. Take one bar, play whole note, second bar, play half notes. So change this around so it gets simple. The next step would be put other rhythms in. You can easily play the half notes or the whole notes on upbeats, like in this example. I start playing it rubato. I'll just play it slowly, kind of rubato, because we need to have these upbeats very tight in the rhythm. So 1, 2, 3, 4. First time through, playing it kind of semi-rubato and still having the time so you can hear the offbeats. Now I'll add time to this, so 2 steps. First time, play it slowly, get into the thing without a backing track to push you through it. If you need to stop, it's easy. Now with the backing track. Rhythm is the most important thing. To really get everything out of this method, I have made a full manual that covers many more written out exercises with all the topics in this video. Learning the chord progression by playing the roots in different ways. Get many more chord exercises, full development of the basic whole note guide tone line from all the steps of the chords, getting into the rhythmic guide tone line by playing half notes, quarter notes, offbeats and lifts, giving you many example choruses to practice. The Begin Jazz Improvisation Step 1, blues chords, takes you through all this in a thorough way, step by step. And you can easily apply the steps in this manual to all the other standards you know. Show, play and analyze a blues solo using chord notes, rhythm, guide tone lines. 5th and the 3rd. I'm playing the root to the 7th, a lifted line 3, 5, 7 and the root, leading into the root of the F7 from that C7. Keep lifting the 7th of this F7 and the 3rd of the C7 going into that root. Playing the 3rd and the 5th of the A7, leading to the lifted 3rd of the D minor 7, adding a couple of quarter notes, roots and thirds. G7, I'm playing the root and the 7th. On the C7, I'm playing the 3rd and the root to the G7 where I play the 5th and the 3rd. In the second chorus of the solo, I get more into lifts and use a bit more quarter notes and some bigger jumps. The C7, I play the root, the 5 and the 7th, going into the root and the 3rd of the F7. On the C7 in the 3rd bar, I play a 7th, a big jump, and again a C7, I play the root and the 7th. On the 2 times F7 in bar 5 and 6 of the second round, I play the root and the 7th, and then I get this nice tritone interval with the 3rd and the 7th. Use the 5th to the 7th as an upbeat to the 3rd of the C7. On the A7 I play quarter notes going up the arpeggio, root 3rd, jump to the 7th, then going back to the 5th. Surrounding the 3rd of the D minor 7. On the D minor 7, yes, I play the 3rd and the root. Through the root and the 7th of the G7, I'm approaching the C7. On the C7, I'm playing the 3rd and the root and ending on the 3rd on the G7. If you want more basic improvisation material, get really a great start and check this playlist, Jazz Improvisation Begin Here playlist. Get all the info to all the viewers of this video. Share your questions in the comments below. All the links mentioned in this video are of course in the description of this video, so go there, check everything out. You can also find information on me and my Facebook group and my LinkedIn and so on. So last thing there is to say, play music and have fun.